Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Chandler,
I'm Celeste.
and this is
True North Terror. I did a poll on our Instagram last night. If you're not on there, definitely go follow it because we post pictures of all of our episodes.
Hell yeah.
And we also will do like polls and announcements on there. We're working on merch right now, so that'll be on there soon.
Soonish.
Soonish, yeah. So I put out a poll last night asking if I should do Nahanni National Park Reserve or if I should do a crazy tornado, and the people have spoken and they said the Nahanni National Park Reserve. So here we are.
Is that the Valley of Headless Men?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Chandler.
I voted for that one.
Did you go on there and vote?
Yeah. I was like, I want to hear this shit. Let's fucking go.
Okay, well, the other episodes can be really good too, and I really want to get it like done because it is really
for
good.
Sure.
Okay, anyways, but we will start with Nahanni.
But I've been excited for this episode since you told me about it for the
That's
first
true.
time.
This is the first one I wrote.
I'm like, oh, fuck it.
This first one I wrote. So, okay, when you think of the last untamed, unexplored, and untouched lands, the first thing that comes to mind is probably Alaska. However, in Canada, we have Nahanni National Park Reserve. In 1978, Nahanni National Park Reserve became the first site in the world to be granted World Heritage status by UNESCO. It is located 500 kilometers west of Yellowknife. Yellowknife is 30,000 acres and is 3 times the size of the infamous American Yellowstone.
Holy.
Which is crazy to think.
3 times?
3 times the size, yeah.
Jesus.
It features granite spires, lush alpine meadows. Entrance to the park is closely regulated. All visitors must secure a pass and report their arrival and departure. Only about 1,000 humans visit each year.
That's cool.
Yeah. The closest road is 144 kilometers away, which leaves the only access by boat or float plane, and there are no roads within the actual park.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like
ATVs? Side-by-sides?
I think it's mostly just hiking.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
For that large of a fucking...
I mean, there's lots that's not explored, but
right, yeah.
The word Nahanni comes from the Dene people, the original dwellers of the land, and means the people over there, referring to the mountain-dwelling tribes known as Naha or Nakani. There's tons of wildlife, including black-and grizzly bears, wolves, moose, caribou, goats, mule and white-tailed deer, Dall's sheep, several weasel species, rodents and bats, squirrels, muskrats, beavers, mink, marten, otter, lynx, red fox, and more.
And welcome back to another episode of National Geographic.
Shut up. There's also a healthy bird population of over 180 species, including bald and golden eagles, sharp-skinned hawks. You can also find wood frogs and over 16 species of fish.
Damn.
For vegetation, there's over 1,000 species recorded, making it the most rich diversity of vegetation in any comparable area in the Northwest Territories. It's predominantly boreal forest. Named the Grand Canyon of Canada, with stunning canyons featuring 3,300 feet depths and large limestone cave systems, many of which are unmapped and unexplored. There are a few geological points of interest, including Ragged Range, located along the northwest boundary of the park. It gets its name from the incredible formation of ragged granite peaks. They are the highest peaks in the Northwest Territories and contain extensive glaciers formed over 110 million years ago.
Whoa.
Rabbit Kettle Hot Springs and Tufa Mounds, you can find water bubbles that surface from deep beneath the earth, warmed by volcanic energy that formed Ragged Range. And the Tufa Mounds are believed to be 10,000 years old, and they're over 30 meters high. Just like, it looks like a different world. If you look at pictures of it, it's crazy.
I want to go here.
Yeah, it's super cool. Awesome. I want to be one of the 1,000. One of the coolest places, though, is Virginia Falls. Virginia Falls is 2 times the height of Niagara Falls at approximately 300 feet. and is where the South Nahanni River picks up speed to feature a steep drop of waterfalls divided by a central rock stack. So, like, it's this huge waterfall, and then right in the middle, there's this big stack of rocks. So it's like, kind of looks like two waterfalls, kind of.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool. It's like, it's absolutely breathtaking. It doesn't even look like it's from Earth, honestly.
Hell yeah.
There are 4 canyons, each distinct with vertical limestone canyon walls. Cross hot springs include 2 thermal water sources. You can smell the famous rotten eggs due to the high level of sulfur.
Yeah.
There's the sand blowouts, and they are outcrops of white sandstone eroded by wind that have formed round domes and arches. It gives the vibe of like beach or desert, but it's actually in a pine forest in a high mountain range. Like, this place does not
This sounds
follow
like an
any
alien
rules.
planet.
Like, it does not follow
I
any
love this.
rules. Lastly, there is Dead Man Valley, where the river calms between the second and first canyons. There's a plateau that forms a dramatic backdrop, and a massive fan dominates the area. Local legend passed down by indigenous tribes, early pioneers, and even modern explorers have reported woolly mammoths long after they went extinct, giant moose with 12-foot antlers.
Hell yeah.
Like,
What?
that's crazy. Like, over 2 of me antlers?
That's wild.
That is crazy. Ginormous grizzlies, and even lions with long, luscious manes. Well,
Lion?
yeah, lions.
Jesus.
Not like mountain lions, so like
Lions. Mufasa.
Yeah, like Mufasa.
That's wild.
AKA the extinct species, also known as the bear dog, have also been reported there long after their extinction. Now that you have an idea of the lay of the land, it sounds like paradise, right?
A little. Sounds
It
really
sounds
fucking
pretty
cool.
I know.
I want to go here.
Well, let's get into the spooky history, and you can let me know if you still want to go there.
Probably not.
Since 1905, more than 44 people have been found dead or have completely vanished in the valley known as the Valley of the Headless Men. In 1904, 2 brothers, Frank and Willie McLeod, traveled into the Nahanni Valley from Edmonton, hoping for the same success of other miners during the Klondike Gold Rush. With the help of a local indigenous boy, the brothers survived the harsh winter, and to the surprise of many, they were super successful. They discovered a large cache of gold and took it home to Fort Leard. Hoping for another successful trip, the pair departed on another trip. They traveled back to the valley in 1905 with a Scottish engineer named Weir.
Weir? Like
Weir?
W-E-I-R? Yeah, Weir.
Weir.
Weird
Weird without the duh. But they were never seen alive again.
Oh, shit.
3 years later, after no word from Frank and Willie, Charlie, the McLeod's other brother, journeyed out into the valley with a search party. Also, like 3 years later.
Yeah, way to wait forever, buddy. Fucking pick
like,
it
well,
up.
it's been 3 years. Guess they're not coming back.
Shit.
We should probably look for them.
Are they okay? Maybe.
Traveling hundreds of miles only to make a very grim discovery. The brothers were discovered lying by their campfire near a cabin, headless.
What?
Yeah. Decapitated. Neither head was ever discovered.
What the? Sorry.
Neither head was ever discovered, and their Scottish companion had completely vanished. The valley was dubbed Headless Valley, or Valley of the Headless Men. Of course, one of the prevailing theories is that Weir killed the brothers for their gold and fled, keeping the knowledge of a rumored wealthy mine for himself. However, years later, it appeared that the McLeod brothers were just the first victims of mysterious deaths and disappearances. In 1917, a Norwegian Yukon gold prospector named Martin Jorgensen went to the valley to pan for gold and attempt to become a permanent resident. He sent word to his friend Poole Field, who was also an RCMP officer, that he hit the gold mine. However, shortly after, his headless skeleton was found near his cabin, burned to the ground. And you guessed it, none of the gold was ever found.
Of course.
Another well-known prospector, Yukon Fisher, literally his name, Yukon Fisher, was wanted by the RCMP and fled from the Yukon to Nahanni Valley in 1927. He set up camp near where the McLeod brothers were found, and the RCMP found him also decapitated near his burnt-out cabin.
Whoa.
In 1926, Annie Laferte was with a hunting party when the remainder of her hunting party woke up to find Annie had vanished.
Oh
They
boy.
searched for several weeks, and one of the searchers had even claimed he saw Annie on a steep cliff running on all fours, naked and wild eyed. If you're running on all fours, I'm getting the
Yeah,
fuck
bye.
out of there.
See you never.
Goodbye. Goodbye, sir. Goodbye,
Jesus.
Annie. The searchers feared for their own safety and left Annie, which, same.
Annie, are you okay?
Annie is not. Annie is unwell. I think that's like anytime I hear a story, if they say on all fours, I'm like, I'm out.
Bye.
I'm out.
Wolfman.
In 1928, while Angus Hall ventured ahead of his hunting party, he was never seen again. In 1936, two prospectors, Joe Mulholland and Bill Epier, vanished. Searchers found their cabin burnt out, but no sign of the men. So, lots of burned cabins.
Yeah.
Lots of missing people. In 1946, Frank Henderson and John Patterson struck gold and split up, planning to link back up at Virginia Falls to make the journey home. Which also, like, why'd you split up?
Let's split up.
Yeah.
Okay.
John never arrived, and he was never seen again. In the 1930s, a miner named Phil Powers was found in his burnt-out cabin.
Holy burning cabins,
I
man.
know.
Like,
By
you got
the
an arsonist
RCMP.
on your hands.
Yeah, they like to fire. If he had any gold, it was gone. The RCMP determined the death was due to a faulty stovepipe. Eye roll.
I mean,
Like, maybe.
appliances weren't what they are now. I guess.
But also,
That's a lot of cabins.
yeah.
that's a lot of cabins burning down.
Yeah.
in
In
the
like a very
same place.
secluded space.
Yeah.
Like every house is burned down. Okay. Another unidentified and decapitated body was found in 1945 in his sleeping bag. And again, his head was never found. A less suspicious death of a man named John O'Brien was found behind his unlit campfire, frozen to death, clutching onto a single unlit match.
Oh, that's
So
brutal.
sad. Yeah, freezing to death. Ugh.
That's a bad way to go.
Naturally, theories of a killer in the valley stealing gold and fleeing were popping up, and the obvious threat of the harsh elements in a remote wilderness. But could there be something more supernatural behind the mysterious events? There are also unexplained plane crashes to add to the lore.
Jesus.
There is an area nicknamed the Funeral Range, referring to plane crashes that occurred in the third canyon of the mountain range. In 1962, there were two plane crashes that added to the lore of Nahanni. The first crash was piloted by Angus Blake Mackenzie, and he had survived. He was not injured. He had access to food and water. He kept a journal for 42 days after the crash, describing his experience in detail while waiting for rescue. When rescue finally came, they found the journal in the wreckage, but no sign of Mackenzie. On day
Damn.
43, the entries abruptly ended. So he went from like writing every day saying everything's going fine, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. Which, like, there's so many animals there,
Yeah.
but it still spooks. An additional plane crash only made Mackenzie's disappearance more mysterious. Rescuers found one man dead who was a prospector near the plane's wreckage. However, the pilot and the other two passengers were never to be seen again. More recently, in 2005, two men traveling together died in the same weekend.
Fuck.
David Horsey and Frederick Hardesty went to a friend's cabin 125 kilometers northwest of Fort Simpson in June of 2005. On June 12th, they were seen alive by the owner of the cabin, Rod Gunderson. On June 16th, so 4 days later, he returned. He found the two men missing, however, saw smoke and small fires. The cabin doors were locked, and both men left their firearms behind, with the cabin stocked with food and wood. June 18th to 23rd, the RCMP searched for the men, and on the 23rd, they stopped heading the search, leaving it to residents and family members. Over a month later, on July 27th, David's body was found in the thick bush, nearly 4 kilometers away from the cabin. And on July 5th, Frederick's body was found floating in the North Nahanni River 20 kilometers away.
Oh, wow.
It was determined that David died of hypothermia and Frederick had drowned, but family members think there is more to the story. David's stepbrother Joseph was part of the search party and said they found suspicious and unsettling things at the cabin, including bullet shots all over the place and a gunshot in the floor. Joseph also said that RCMP did not cordon off the cabin and claimed there was nothing suspicious to indicate foul play, despite the gunshots.
Yeah.
After the discovery of the bodies, Joseph asked RCMP if they'd be willing to investigate again, to which they replied they would not because all the evidence had been contaminated by the search party. But it's like, so then why didn't you cordon it off?
Yeah. Come on now.
Yeah. Both men were described as experienced bushmen, and the family is not convinced they would have succumbed to the elements. In 2018, the families asked the RCMP to reopen the case, but I couldn't find any updates on that, so I'm assuming they did not.
Damn. Just left it.
So, what could be behind all these mysterious deaths and disappearances? The Dene tribe were the original dwellers of the region. For centuries, the Dene people feared a legendary tribe called Naha or Nahanni, also known as the Hairy Men. The Naha or Nahanni tribes would come out of the mountains to raid and kill the other tribes and take their women and children. Dene, as well as other tribes, were known to pack their sites immediately if they sensed the Naha. In 1924, an English adventurer named Michael Mason ventured into Nahanni and wrote about the Nahanni tribe as terrible wild men with red eyes and enormous height, completely covered with long hair. Like, sir, are they Bigfoots?
Yeah, Sam Squatch. That
They
damn's a
Bigfoots?
Sam Squatch.
It's your family of sham squatchers. He also wrote that they left 3-foot-long human-like footprints.
3 foot?
Yes, and could tear birch trees from the earth with their bare hands, roots and all. It's Bigfoot.
These are fucking.
It's a Bigfoot family.
Yeah.
Other legends and lore included the evil spirit, a weather spirit that is said to haunt Nahanni, shrieking on cold nights, giants that are said to cook their meals in Rabbit Kettle hot springs, and prehistoric creatures such as the bear dogs.
And the woolly mammoths.
That too. The Nukluk are also another like group of people that are described as a short, bearded, half-naked man carrying a giant club, and they were sighted in the area in 1964 by trappers.
Gnomes or dwarves?
Or Nukluks. So, are certain areas within Nahanni closed to visitors solely to protect and preserve the sensitive ecosystems and cultural significance? Or could the restrictions also be to keep supernatural forces within?
Maybe.
Another long lasting and non supernatural rumor was that a single man was responsible for the mysterious deaths and disappearances. Albert Johnson, which was not his real name, but that is who we know him as, also known as the Mad Trapper of Rat River, was the center of the largest manhunt in Canadian history, lasting 48 days. Do you know the story?
No.
Okay, it's crazy. I'll probably do like a actual full-on episode about this. So I'm just going to quickly go over to give you an idea
Okay.
of this guy. Covering 240 kilometers in the Nahanni wilderness with temperatures during the manhunt averaging minus 40.
Oof.
This man was wildin'. Like, yeah, he deserves his own episode, Albert. On December 31st, 1931, an RCMP constable was shot and wounded when he approached Albert's secluded cabin to question him about complaints of tampered trap lines. When the RCMP returned to his cabin days later, he was lying in wait and had used the days to convert his cabin into a bunker. As soon as the RCMP approached, he fired at the officers, resulting in a long-lasting standoff. Finally, after days of no success, and the RCMP running out of supplies and food for themselves and their sled dogs, and enduring freezing and unforgiving winter temperatures, they were like, fuck it. They threw a stick of dynamite onto the roof of Johnson's cabin, collapsing the walls and roof. However, Johnson, always a step ahead, anticipated this and had dug a hole in the ground to shelter and was completely unharmed.
Oh my god.
I'm telling you, like, I think he's
This guy's
supernatural.
fucking insane.
Yeah.
Looney Tunes.
He returned gunfire again, and the RCMP retreated back to Aklavak. Days later, officers returned back to the cabin and found that Johnson had fled and the fresh snow had covered his tracks. Finally, on January 30th, the police party, along with some indigenous guides, caught up to Albert after reports of rifle fire. Officer Millen ordered Albert to surrender, to which he responded by "nah dog" and shot the officer, killing him with a shot through the heart.
You said
Albert,
nah, dog?
yeah, nah dog. No, he didn't actually say nah dog.
I was like, what year is this? Nah, dog, bang. I was like, what? Wait,
Albert was ahead
is
of
he a
his
time
time.
traveler? Nah, dog.
He said what Blake would say, nah, bruh.
No. Jesus Christ.
Albert immediately escaped by climbing up a nearly vertical mountain under the cover of darkness. He's not a person, I swear to God.
No, this guy sounds like a fucking wolf man.
Ultimately, the RCMP decided to call in some air support from pilot Wilfred Wop May, aka Wop, to bring supplies to the manhunt party and offer a bird's eye view of the terrain, hoping to spot Johnson. Finally, on February 14th, Wop did catch a look at Johnson's trail, and on February 17th, the police caught up to him again, ordering him to surrender. Johnson again said, "Nah, dog."
Yeah, nah, dog.
He took cover and started firing, injuring another officer, but Johnson ended up being shot several times, with the fatal shot severing his spine.
Oh.
Other than the unhinged nature of Johnson shooting at officers over tampered traps,
Yeah, bro.
he
What
was
the hell?
also found with a jar of golden teeth, which seemed very sus at the time, considering there were a bunch of lost heads. And
Yeah.
so people were like, he kept these as
And they
trophies.
blew up that cabin.
Yeah. But it ended up that they were just his own teeth.
Oh, ew.
Yeah.
What the
His
fuck?
his remains were exhumed recently, and it was determined that he was in his 30s at the time of his death and likely Scandinavian, but his identity still has never been revealed.
Wow.
Yeah. I feel like it would be completely criminal to not mention our next character. It'd be a complete disservice because he's an icon. Remember, I was telling you I was like crying watching a video of for this episode,
Yeah. I think
and I
I
was
think I
like, he's
remember.
just so adorable.
So,
Okay, this is him. Mm. So this this guy, Albert Faley, born in approximately 1887, was likely born in Pennsylvania and ended up running away from his foster family farm at the age of 8.
oof,
Like for real ran away.
wow.
Yeah. By the age of 10, he had learned how to jump trains and made money working odd jobs on farms, and also learned how to trap and sell pelts. In the 1920s, he went to Nahanni with a partner to trap for the first time and ended up raking in $5,000 in a single season, which in today's money is
That's a
like
lot of monies.
$80,000. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. The next winter, he wanted to go out again, but his partner was like, "No, I am not going through that harsh winter again."
Yeah.
So Albert was like, "That's fine, I'll go alone." He had another successful year and decided he was going to become a permanent resident, leaving behind his wife Marion, who did not want to leave the bustling city of Duluth, Minnesota. But Albert was no deadbeat, and he continued to send Marion money for the rest of her life, providing for her, and he never remarried.
Wow.
I know. What
What
a
a nice guy.
gentleman. What a gentleman. I love Albert so
What a good
much.
guy. That's a good Albert.
Albert continued to work and live in solitude in the backcountry until he was in his 50s, when he decided to work on a boat as an engineer for a doctor that traveled along the Mackenzie River, which runs just east of the border of the park.
Okay.
A few years later, he decided he wanted to try to go for gold again and sought out the famous McLeod Brothers mine, despite hearing so many stories of the Headless Valley. Although he was never successful, he continued to go out annually in June and July. He went back to living alone and working as a guide, trapping and working odd jobs during the colder months. Of course, living and trekking through such unforgiving wilderness is going to come with its fair share of bad luck and stories. He actually broke his back when he was
Huh?
young, contracted scurvy, and scurvy is like, well, it's because you're not getting enough like variety of nutrients and
Yeah.
whatever. But one of the symptoms is like your teeth
Yeah,
rotting.
your teeth rot.
And so he just casually pulled out 4 of his own teeth with
Ugh.
pliers.
Yuck.
And another side effect of scurvy is temporary blindness. So he was blind, missing teeth, and had a broken back.
This guy's a fucking animal.
Yeah. But that same year that he went through all of that, the winter season came earlier than expected, and he built a cabin to live out the winter season alone with a broken back.
What a
I'm like,
wow.
Albert for president.
Yeah.
When the spring finally came, he set out back to his permanent cabin when he came across two RSMP officers with shovels. And they're like, "Oh, Albert, we actually brought these shovels because we were expecting to find you dead. We are here to bury you." They're like, "No one can survive this." And
Oh my god.
he's like, "Oh no, like this is just my home. It's fine. Like
I
I'm
live
great.
here.
I'm great. Yeah, I live here."
I'm a
Can,
local.
they probably like, "Are we seeing a ghost?"
Yeah, we're here to we were here to bury you. Nah, dog.
No,
That's insane.
yeah, like no one else could survive what Albert has
No.
survived.
Holy shit.
He also had many animal encounters with the apex predators, including grizzly and black bears and wolves. There is a movie that I referred to earlier that I had watched, and it was produced by a Canadian film company in 1962. It's just a quick short film. It's narrated. Albert doesn't talk at all.
Mm.
It follows him making one of his annual trips I cannot talk. Annual trips to look for gold. He gets to the iconic Virginia Falls and has to go around it. So he beaches his boat, unloads all of his supplies, and carries it up a mile-high mountain, which takes about a week.
Holy fuck.
And he's an old man at this point. Like this
Yeah.
is 1962 and he's estimated to be born in like 80 or 1880 something.
Yeah.
Crazy. So then he has to take part of his boat as well, carries it up, and then reassembles everything afterwards. And he finally gets back down to the banks and discovers that the river is not how it was in past years. It is narrow and not able to be traveled by boat. Only about 60 kilometers away from his destination, he decides to turn back. He could have attempted the rest of the journey on foot, but it would have taken much longer than he had allotted for, and he did not want to get stuck there for another winter alone.
Yeah. I don't blame him.
Yeah, it's so sad. Like, you see him, he's like trying to pull his boat along in this shallow water, and finally you just see him like give up, and he just goes and sits on this big rock and just like lights a pipe, and you can just see him like, oh, fuck.
Fuck, I gotta go back.
Like, cannot catch a break.
A week of going up that mountain just to be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, never mind.
Go back around.
No more gold. No gold for me.
Let's go home. Maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next
Fuck.
year. The film was shown in classrooms, and his stepson Harry actually saw it in his class. Alfred and Harry had lost touch after Marion had passed, and this film inspired Harry to reconnect, and he ended up visiting Albert at the park. Or sorry, I think I said Alfred before.
Yeah,
Anyways,
it's okay. I understood.
Albert at the park. The current PM at the time, Pierre Trudeau, also saw the film and was awestruck. He visited Albert at his cabin in Nahanni. Trudeau was also the PM responsible for establishing Nahanni as a national park in 1972, and he undoubtedly was inspired by his visit with Albert. He asked Albert if he would make the journey for gold again, and Albert responded, "I'll be dead or drowned before I quit." Albert did end up passing in 1973 in the outhouse of his home in Fort Simpson.
Oh,
What a terrible way to go.
on the shitter.
His home is actually a National Historic Site now and is preserved exactly how Albert left it, including his snowshoes on the wall, shelves lined with canned goods, and even his clothes hung across his chair. And his calendar is even still flipped to December 1973.
And sorry, where is his home?
This is in like the Yukon, BC.
Yeah,
What are you asking me?
like his permanent home where he died.
It was in Fort Simpson.
Fort Simpson. Okay. Wow.
There are obviously many, many stories of Nahanni, some spooky, supernatural, terrifying, and inspiring, but Albert's story was my favorite.
That guy's a fucking Canadian
What a
legend.
beast, I know.
What a guy.
Yeah, for real.
Holy,
Albert was an icon.
that is
Can you imagine just like out in the woods and you're like, oh, my back is broken. You're like, oh my God, now I got the scurvy. And you're like, okay, now I
my
need to
teeth
pull
are
up my
falling
teeth.
out.
And now
I
I'm
can't
blind.
see. Oh, my back really hurts today. I wonder why. It's fucking
Like,
half bent in half.
yeah. Well, and when you watch the video of him like going up with his supplies, you can tell that his back has like permanent damage. He's
Those
like,
it would have never healed
yeah,
properly.
he's like hunched over
Oh,
and really struggling, but he is determined. And I'm like, man, he- like the amount of lazy I am, Albert. Albert would be like, you were a loser.
that is like that's got to be inspiring. I gotta watch that.
Yeah, it's really good. We'll post a link. I could only find the French version
That's okay.
on YouTube, but it was free to watch on YouTube. I can only find the French version. But yeah, we will post the link and some photos of Albert and the national park. It's absolutely beautiful. Like it honestly does not look like the world. And I didn't even really mention it, but um some some people would like go and look for gold and they would report seeing like palm trees and beaches and stuff.
What?
It's like, yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. So it's just like, yeah, I feel like it's just a place that's super
Otherworldly.
magical and does not follow the rules. Like,
That sounds really fucking cool.
super cool. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's that.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That was a fucking sweet story.
I hope it met your expectations.
Definitely.
Ugh, for everyone that voted for it.
I thought you were gonna say that Weir was the guy who killed them all.
Oh,
Because
good theory.
the two
Yeah, because
brothers,
they were the
the
first
first
ones.
ones, and then it
Yeah.
was a couple years like, because it was what 1917,
Yeah, after that,
20.
1927. Yeah, there was quite a
Like
few.
there was a good chunk in that in like a
Yeah.
20 to 30 year range.
Yeah. And no one has,
This weird guy could have done it.
yeah.
Most of them, and
And
it's all similar
MOs.
pathology.
And um I couldn't find, like, it doesn't sound like anyone has ever found the McLeod brothers' mine where they found all of their gold.
Oh, so it's just like a legend.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. And the other cool thing was Albert had actually hired the same indigenous boy that helped the McLeod brothers find the mine to like point him in the right direction.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool
Man,
history and ties in there.
as scary as it sounds, I think I would still like to go.
It sounds pretty cool.
I would love to go
Yeah.
fishing there.
Yeah, 16
It
different
would be
species of fish.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, you got to look at some pictures. The Virginia Falls especially is like just breathtaking. Like it literally looks like a different planet there.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well,
Do you remember our outro
yes,
this time?
stay spooky, True Northers.
Terror is closer than you think.
Yeehaw.
Good night. Good night.